Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Z, and welcome back to the second installment of Z Critiques, where today we're going to keep riding the retro G1 Transformers train. Wow, that's long. And we're going to be taking a look at one of my personal favorite toys from the 1984 lineup, Generation 1 Mirage. And, just when you think the Autobot cars can't get any prettier, you have a beauty like this. Now, what's interesting about Mirage is that he is based on a Ligier JS11 Formula 1 car, which were used from sometime in the 70s to sometime in the 80s, and you can tell just how much research I actually did there. I don't know if he's actually based on any specific driver's car, or if they just kind of threw this livery together for the sake of the toy line, but man, oh man, is it ever gorgeous. The blue and white is always a gorgeous color scheme in my opinion. It just goes well on everything. You have the very nice looking silverback, excuse me while I correct focus. You have the very nice silverback Autobot logos on either, well, on this side of the car, as well as right here on the front. And you have all of the different sponsors of Citanes, or Citianes, however you're supposed to say that. Ligier right there. You also have Elf, and Ligier, and Citanes, however you're supposed to say that. I'm so sorry. On the back of the spoiler there. As well as two more Elf sponsors. There is also this logo here, and if you can tell me what that is, please do, because I haven't the slightest earthly idea. And obviously, being a G1 toy, although admittedly this is a knockoff G1 toy, because I do not have the time or money to search for a legit G1 Mirage. Whoopsies! Either way though, a trademark signature of G1 toys is the chrome. You can have it here, or you can see you have it here on the vents, which look very clean, very nicely done, and of course on the engine with some very nice little bits of sculpted detail. Again, if the camera actually wants to focus. On the wheels, naturally you have it on the hubs, looking very nice. The entire spoiler section is also chrome, and you have it right here on the front of the car with these, I'm not actually sure what you call these. Again, if you know anything about Formula 1 and would like to inform me on what these specific parts are called, please let me know. I'm pretty sure it's just a front wing, but I'm fully prepared to be wrong about that. Yeah, Mirage, you know, they say they're robots in disguise, but if you saw this bright blue and white with the very nice bit of red pinstriping, might I add, but if you saw this on the street, you would not be fooled. You would be confused. You would think that there's a Grand Prix going on somewhere else, and that one of the drivers managed to somehow just completely steer off the race course and get completely and utterly lost. But it's still a gorgeous car mode nonetheless, and you have the signature Autobot rub sign on the back, and this one actually does work because, again, it's not a vintage toy, so thankfully I don't have to worry too much about being very gentle. You can just about see it working there. But yeah, this is a gorgeous car mode. G1 had loads and loads and loads of very nice alt modes, but truth be told, this is one of the top 3 for me. I mean, this is one of those figures where I can never decide if I want to keep it in car mode or robot mode, and you will see why once we actually get to the robot mode. So how about we actually do that? Let's put this gorgeous, incredibly nice looking Formula 1 car and make it into a nicer looking robot. Alrighty, and here we are ready for the transformation. So what we're going to do first, as per usual with some of these cars, is we are going to extend the legs and spread them out like so. And then you are going to take the spoiler bits and fold them up, and they will become the robot's feet. What you'll then want to do is take these side panels. You can see the fist just barely trying to hide in there. You'll want to gently, although slightly forcefully at the same time, bring those out. And then you will rotate this. And again, shout out to G1 for the sticker detail. What even is this? This in particular, because you won't see this once the transformation is finished. You watch. You watch. But anyway, you'll want to take the forearms, bring them up, or just the entire arm, whichever you prefer. And you'll want to twist the waist a complete 180. And you'll want to take the front of the car, pull it down like so. That is just one of my absolute favorite bits of this entire transformation. Dear God. And then you'll just take the front tires and the axles they're on and fold them back. And there you have the base robot. But what is a robot in war without his weapons? So first up, you have this missile launcher, which in classic G1 style just has a bunch of random robotic looking detail. And you have this very nice shiny chrome missile. And in typical G1 fashion, this missile is spring-loaded, and it works. And I love it. Say what you will about KOs, but oops. And we just had a misfire. Here I was trying to praise this thing, and it fails me. Anyway, say what you will about KOs, but you know what? Sometimes they deliver. Sometimes they deliver. Make sure that stays. Make sure he's well adjusted for footing here. And lastly, you want to grab his main blaster. And what a nice bit of cat hair there, excuse me. What a very, very nice and sleek looking gun this is. There's just something about it, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, and I'll admit that I'm nostalgic for a time that I wasn't even alive for. But man, that just looks so nice. Just, again, shout out to G1 for all of the attention to detail. But then, of course, you want to take the gun and put it in his hand, and there is the complete robot mode. And what a robot mode it is. What a spectacular robot mode this is. You have the sticker detailing, again, these weird purple vent things, these red dots and squares with little black lines going through them. What is that? What is that? Who cares what it is? It looks cool. And it adds character to the toy. Much like this little chest bit. Just a red grid where the head would normally be hiding. In robot mode, they didn't have to fill that in, but they did to make it look good. One of my favorite things that I think looks good, though, is the head sculpt. This, among many, many other things, is why G1 Mirage is probably one of my absolute favorite top 3 retro Transformers toys. I love the blue and silver. I love the sharp yellow eyes in contrast to really every other color on the toy. It's just so iconic. This entire robot is so incredibly iconic to the entire Transformers fan and or franchise, excuse me, as well as just, dare I say, pop culture in general. It's one of those ones where people can just look at it and say, oh yeah, that's G1 Mirage, I had that as a kid. And it sparks memories, it sparks imagination, it sparks the love of just vintage robot toys and how special they really are. This is a point that I'm going to make a lot, and I apologize in advance for that, but the old G1 toys, say what you will about them, with the lack of posability and whatever, but there was no denying that these things, again, especially Mirage in my opinion, just is powerful. It has presence. It's there. Boom! Dominating the shelf, most likely, in my opinion. He just absolutely kills the look. And it really helps that he also is really solidly made, or at least this KO is. Because if you don't know, the original G1 Mirage toy, this spinny bit here that we do for the transformation is often broken very, very easily, and it's very common to find secondhand G1 Mirages with that piece just broken, so people either super glue it into robot mode or super glue it into car mode because, well, they can't really transform a broken toy that quite literally splits in half, can they? Oh boy, I just realized G1 Mirage predicted Jazz's death in the 07 movie. Holy shit. No, but this is a really nice, good-looking toy. Nice, solidly constructed toy. And it's especially nice because of something that I failed to mention even in the Red Alert video. The G1 toys had die-cast. This entire gunmetal gray-looking piece on both of the feet, yeah, that's die-cast metal. This thing is solid. This is a very solid and very well-constructed toy, and I like it a lot. And I think that if you were to get this toy, you would also like it a lot. And that's all I really have to say about Transformers knockoff G1 Mirage. Thank you so very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to... I mean, you don't have to subscribe. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe, but it would be nice if you did. I'm definitely planning on making even more of these in the future. So, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.